homeschooling families. Today I'm going to share with you guys about what Cabinet is doing during the AFHE convention. It just so happens that Thursday AFHE is having a STEM fair which begins at 1:30 and it ends at 5 p.m. and Cabinet is going to be there the entire time. Since we're talking about science, I have to become very scientific. So Cabinet is going to be having a booth over there where we're going to have this really cool aprons. And we're also going to have some really neat scientific stuff, like we're going to have some rainbow scopes, some kits that your kids can make so they can see the whole spectrum of the lights. And so what you need to do is you will be creating it. You will get all the pieces to put this together, and then your kid will do that, and you can look through it at a light. And after you look for it, you're going to get to see something like this that will show you all the spectrums of light. So a really fun activity for your kids. And we're also going to have some really neat bug puppets. My favorite one is the ladybug. Or, let's see, this one, which in Spanish is called a libélula. So I can't remember what it's called in English. But anyway, this one, if you see it, it means that somebody's going to come and visit you. At least that's what they say. Anyway, and then we also have some magnets with some shavings, really cool ones. And if you like bugs like this one, we have this really neat bug catchers. They just kind of open here, kind of like scissors, walk, and you get to catch the bugs. The bugs will go in there. And then you get to analyze them. And then you say goodbye and let them go. Or something like that. Unless they're roaches. Then you can kill them. And you're also going to have some kits so your kids can make their own bird feeders. So we have all kinds of stuff, and we also, oh yeah, here's the little sample for the kids, and our wonderful Karen Borg also purchased some brain hats. So if you're studying, for example, human anatomy on the elementary level, Apologia has a really fun book. Your kids can also build this hat, and it explains all the parts of the brain and how to do it, the left side, the right side, the things that you learn. It is a really, really neat kit to use, and I would say somewhat fashionable too. And obviously you need some little items to make experiments, to mix all kinds of stuff. And lastly, you get to be able to be cool and have some very scientific drinks. So anyway, so that's what we're going to be doing. Karen will be doing a dissection workshop from 3:30 to 5 p.m. So Cabinet is going to be open that day. That's the last day of our pre-convention sale, 40% off. So if you want to, come here in the morning. We open at 9. Then go and have lunch with the friends. Then go to the STEM fair and visit with Karen there. So, and then Cabinet will be closed Friday and Saturday because we will be at the AFHE convention. We're going to be representing MasterBooks, and I'm going to have Kenzie join me, and she can share with you guys a little bit of what we are going to be taking for the AFHE convention. So hey, Kenzie, thank you for joining. I had a little accident there. So you get to join cabinets. Things happen and we get the giggles, but nobody got hurt there. So Kris,
we're good.
I'm so happy you're okay, Kris. Okay, Kenzie.
MasterBooks.
MasterBooks, that's right. We are representing MasterBooks and we love MasterBooks.
Yeah, so where MasterBooks is a little unique is instead of having like their own K through 12 curriculum like some other publishers do, if you are a Christian with a literal 6-day creation view, they will publish for you. So a lot of the books are going to be where the teacher or the author wrote the teacher guide and the student key, but some of them are just, they're like pretty books. Like here, let me show you this sample.
Yeah, so is this your favorite one, Kenzie?
Yes.
Okay.
It's very cute.
Yes, this one is elementary zoology. I love it too.
So it's set up where they're pretty books. They're like the kind of books you just want to have anyway. So like this one is actually where you would do a field trip to an aquarium, and it has like a whole guide where it tells you about the different things in the aquarium and kind of what to look for while you're there. And it's a pretty book, and then it has the teacher guide, which turns it from like a nice pretty book into a curriculum. And the most unique thing is they do the lesson planning for you. So they have what to do, what day, what worksheets to do, what activities in which book. So it's set up where you as the parent really don't have too much planning ahead
to do. Yes, it is beautiful. And in this set, they actually also printed a really nice book. It is called God's Big Book of Animals. And yes, and in this, they printed this book, and it is just such a beautiful book, and it's all from a Christian perspective. So this is one of the most interesting books that they have. Okay, so MasterBooks also follows the Charlotte Mason philosophy, which means that they try to use living books. That's why they have all these beautiful, really wonderful books. So I'm going to show you guys their math book. So their math book is also based on the Charlotte Mason philosophy. It tells the story of a family and two siblings, Charlie and Charlotte. And they actually go traveling to Peru, which is where I was born. So in this book, kids learn, again, it also gives you the lessons where it says day one, you do this much and you do this exercise and so on. But you are going to be following the story of Charlie and Charlotte, and your kids are going to be reading something that they did. So on this first page, as they're reviewing, previewing the place value and so on, you're learning a story, something that the kids did. So then your kids will be internalizing the concepts because they're learning in a practical way, like in a living book. And then they have to practice. So this kids tend to do really well, and it takes them a lot less time. So kids that like to read, this is a really nice book. Oh. Okay, so then which other one do you want to show us, Mackenzie?
So this is actually by the same author, Angela Odell, that wrote the math, and it's very similar, but it's for American history. Now there's also world history for middle school. And this is the student pages, so it's going to go through the different historical facts throughout of it. And they're just so pretty. I think MasterBooks are some of the prettiest books.
Yes, and they're written really well.
Yes.
Very interesting, narrative style.
And then again, they do the lesson planning for you. So it tells you, 5 days a week is how they do it, which of course can be adapted. And then the teacher guide has all the worksheets in it. So you're going to go through and do the activities. And it's nice because since it's for the 3rd through 6th grade, it's multi-level. So you can do a lot of your kids most likely together. And even if your kids are a little younger than the 3rd grade, they can still get what they get from it.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So we became aware of MasterBooks when they started reprinting James Stova American literature books and world literature. Because that's what I had used with the previous printer. And that's a world one, and this is the American one. So this is actually one of my favorite ones. It is quite challenging. You can actually complete this in 2 years. I mean, if you go crazy like I did with my first child, poor kid, the first kid, what do they call it, the first pancake? Anyway, so I actually did this curriculum in 1 year with my first one. But with my second one, we did it in 2 years. But if you do happen to do that, make sure you keep 2 credits. It has wonderful books. It teaches worldview throughout the curriculum. And one thing to remember when you're doing this curriculum is that you need to be flexible. If you have the personality that you want to follow exactly what the book tells you to do, this will be very, very hard because it has so much. You need to give yourself permission to skip certain things and just to make it your own and just make it more doable, because otherwise it could be quite overwhelming. But I love the books that they use. I love that they study the historical time periods with it. Like you're learning about the time period where the author lived in, what were his worldview, what were his influences, and then obviously you analyze the pieces of literature that you're learning. So I love this curriculum.
And one of the great things about the author, James Stova, is he actually grades for the ACT. Mm-hmm. So when he made his books, he made them with that college prep mindset. Mm-hmm. So they're really, really good as a college prep program.
Yes. Okay, so he also has like an American history, which is a little lighter because the world literature is American literature is so heavy.
Yes.
They complement each other, yes. And for high school, they just came up with a biology book.
Yeah, so a lot of MasterBooks science, they have a lot of ones that are really the non-traditional, but people were like, hey, what about the basics, the chemistry, the biology, the physics? So they just came out with this. It's brand new. In fact, if I open it, it like smells like a new book still. And so again, they just, put a lot of the pictures in. This is really, really good for visual kids because it's going to put like those pictures where they can relate what they're learning to a picture. And then this has all of their worksheets again, and it has lab sheets in here as well. So it does have quite a few labs that they're going to be doing. And then again, it's always so nice to have that lesson planning for you. It's the grading sheet. We're almost there. There we go.
Excellent.
Yeah, so again, it has that, so it's just really easy. And especially since this is a high school course, you pretty much should be able to just hand the kid the book and say, go do the next day, and they should be able to get it.
Exactly. So the biology is there, and they also create the chemistry. So if you
Yes.
like that style, you can do them one after each other. And one of the non-traditional ones that we love here is called Apply Engineering.
Yes.
Because it teaches engineering in a practical way. I know we had a boy that didn't want to go to college, and he was starting to become an apprentice for somebody in his church. Doing pergolas, that's right. So this curriculum was great for him because this applied engineering was exactly what he needed. But anyway, so any other book you want to highlight?
Ooh, I feel like there always is more.
I know, they're so great.
One more. To throw out real quick.
Oh, yes.
Is,
New
so
ones.
Angela Odell, who wrote the American History, she also wrote the math. She also did a language arts. So it's language lessons for living education. So again, it's relating that story base where the kids are relating to the stories. So they're relating what they're learning to their real life.
Yes.
And so this one's 4th grade. So they're going to be going through. It's going to have it laid out really, really nice. And then actually what's cool about this one, they incorporate reading with it as well. So this is the reader. It's 101 stories from the Bible. So they're going to be reading the Bible stories. So it's kind of knocking out two birds with one stone.
That's
so
right.
they get their Bible. So it's going to have the different stories. And then it's nice because they give you the references if you want to read, you know, in your actual Bible. But they have the summaries in here, so they'll be able to read in here. And then I think some of the lessons, like, they'll be going over things that they learned in the story. So it's laid out really cool where they're relating it to their lives.
It is very friendly. I think I love this curriculum.
Yes.
Anyway, comments, we have way more. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3 entire shelves full of MasterBooks.
Yes.
So,
and just to throw out a couple of the big names, we have a couple of things that are from Answers in Genesis. We have Jacob's Math. You know, those are some of the writing strands. MasterBooks publishes those, so we'll have those with us.
yes, they're such great books. So come and visit us. We want you to come and look through the books and see if they're a good match for you, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Yeah.
Kenzie, myself, and Kris, who's still alive.
Yes!
And if you're getting the giggles again, that's okay. That's what happens here. Anyway, so thank you again for being part of this video, and we will see you Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at Homeschool Convention. And like I said, Thursday morning you can come and visit us before you go to the STEM fair.
So that's July 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th.
There you go. Okie dokie. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.